It's the end of World War II. Germany has capitulated and its territory has been divided into zones of occupation. But this time, the Americans decide not to cede land north of Lake Constance to the French. The Mauser factory remains in operation. Alex Seidel, Edmund Heckler, and Theodore Koch, tired of working at Mauser, are enticed through Operation Paperclip to emigrate to the United States, where they join the US defense industry. The roller delay system is tested by American forces, but rejected in favor of the Armalite and Colt AR-15 platform. The MP5 is never invented. In the 1960s, another German refugee designer, Thilo Müller, develops a delayed blowback system for use in the AR platform and converted 9mm AR-15 magazines to go with it. The Federal Republic of Germany adopts this 9mm CAR-15 for its GSG Special Operations teams, and achieves publicity first in the rescue of the 1977 hijacked Flight 181 in Somalia. The 9mm CAR-15 then achieves global recognition when British SAS teams breach the Iranian embassy in London with them on live television. Further special operations use demands a silenced version, which Colt and its German engineers develop in the early 1970s. Small arms cognoscenti and special operators everywhere fall in love with the Schaldampfer, the CAR-15 SD. If you need a covert SMG, if only the best will do, and if you can find him to make you one, maybe you can hire Broad River Tactical to get a CAR-15 SD. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and this is the CAR-15 SD as manufactured by Broad River Tactical. It is so incredibly cool that even though it is not a historical firearm, I had to come up with a counterfactual, hypothetical, what-if history to make it exist, because it's just such a fun concept. The idea, of course, is AR-15 lower, AR-15 upper, MP5 SD front end with an MP5 SD suppressor. So a little bit more of the detail. The magazines are, in fact, the mean arms, or EndoMag, 9mm inserts into regular 5.56 magazine bodies, which means you can use a standard AR-15 lower for a 9mm carbine. You don't have to get pistol mags, and more importantly, if you want to run something like this that is a short-barreled rifle, you can use a single AR lower that's already been registered as an SBR that can be run in 5.56 or 9mm. You don't need a dedicated 9mm lower. The barrel is a nice little short barrel that is MP5 style, vented right in front of the chamber to reduce muzzle velocity to below supersonic levels, or at least it's alleged to. So we're going to test that out and see how well it actually works. The can on it it will fit a standard H&K MP5 SD can, but there's also a company in the US called HiTec Arms that manufactures a clone of the SD can. That's what I have here. It's actually available, unlike an H&K can. It is user serviceable. You can take it apart, unlike an H&K can. It's probably more effective than an H&K can because it's made with today's baffle technology instead of 1970s folded square aluminum tubing baffles. And it's a huge can. It runs telescoping over the barrel all the way back to here. So they make an 8-inch version and a 12-inch version of the can. This is the 12. And just for kicks, we put a set of fake H&K diopter sights on it because they look super cool. Oh, and lastly, the operating system is CMMG's delayed blowback operating system. So it's, they've got angled cuts on the back of the locking lugs that give you essentially a rotary-delayed blowback action, which helps keep the action closed and keeps it a little quieter and keeps the recoil. I mean, it's not like 9mm carbines have a lot of recoil, but the less you can get, the better. And this thing is an absolutely amazing shooter. So that was some subsonic ammo that I started with. Just to remind you, it is super quiet. All I hear is sproing from the spring and a thwack when the bullet hits the berm. Now, what you would normally probably be shooting out of something like this is just regular 115 grain blasting ammo. Cheap, standard ball. So I have 9mm, 115 grain Fiocchi here that we're gonna do a little bit of shooting with. I'm pretty sure that is also subsonic. Let's take a quick trip over to the chronograph to see just how subsonic it is. 989. Average of 5 shots, 948 feet per second. Yeah, that's definitely subsonic by a nice little margin. It is super soft shooting. This is about the most fun gun I've had in a very long time. Now, I've got one other ammunition loading here with us today that I want to try out, and that is 124 grain Super Blammo 9mm. This is Winchester service grade ammo. It is hot, it is high pressure. In our HiTec Arms Vanquish, this stuff was doing 1,300 feet per second out of a vented barrel. Now, this barrel has only a small number of vents right back at the chamber, and I'm curious how that's going to affect it differently. But I bet this is going to be supersonic as well. Oh yeah, you hear that crack reverberating around? That is definitely supersonic. Let's go check how supersonic it is. 1134. $11.59. So average of 5 rounds of the Winchester 124 is 1,144 feet per second. So yeah, it's still supersonic. Not surprised there. But what I am going to do is get rid of my ears because it's just such a nice shooting experience to not need ears. And with this 150 grain S&B subsonic, I do not need ears with this thing at all. It is just such a picture. All right, that is Broad River Tactical's CAR-15 SD. He makes these, makes them available in a number of configurations. You can get just the handguard parts from him if you want, or you can go ahead and do whole hog. Can from HiTec Arms. Full disclosure, I paid for the can. Broad River Tactical gave me the upper because he was really excited to see it get some publicity, and I'm equally excited. This thing is one of the coolest, most fun guns that I've had in actually quite a long time. So if you're interested, check them out, Broad River Tactical. Big thanks to him for putting this together. He's a little one-man shop who made it because it seemed like a cool project, and I couldn't agree more. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.